What's up, boys and girls? Chef PV here. Troy, ATXRC Productions, if you know me from my solo days, which is what we have on the bench. So check it out. What do we got? Well, Electrify RC, Hobby Wireless, my boy Burst over there, hooked it up with a 3.3 VTX and receiver module. He asked me to do some testing on it. Obviously, being in the FPV racing these days and the mini quads, that's what I was originally going to test it on. So I had a build I was going to build, but that build kind of turned into something else. And my 3DR Solo has just been sitting here. I haven't been able to get rid of it. Everybody knows the deal. 3DR is basically going by the wayside. However, your 3DR Solo is still an awesome piece of machinery. The gimbal sucks. Well, that's what you get when you just try to put Insta Spin software on a gimbal and try to sell it for 400 bucks. But hey, I called that a year ago. So the hardware inside the copter, though, the Pixhawk 2 by Philip Roust and all the gang, amazing. It's literally in multiple copters right now that you think they're not in, they're in. So, and people have cloned them, putting them in copters they're not supposed to be. The Pixhawk 2 is amazing. It's hands down probably the best flight controller, and APM wise, just top notch. So, RG Project is apparently going to take over the Solo product. They're going to liberate, from what my inside knowledge says, the product and continue to support it. Some more hardware still coming from Philip and PNC 3D, or PF. I'm sorry, I forget your company, Philip. PNC, something like that. They're still going to be doing hardware. He's still working on the Pixhawk 2, getting them out, making them available for actual purchase for DIY builds, which is awesome. But the Solo is still very capable. So instead of trying to sell it, which is just difficult to do in the market when you can buy $400 for a new gimbal and a new unit right now, let's do something fun, right? Been FPVing. We don't have our Mavic yet because we sold the P4 so we could get a Mavic to play with. We got that so we could really chase around the mini quads and have fun the way we have been with these things. You've seen work that I've done with the Solo, with mini quads, and the Phantom more recently. So I got a Mavic for that, but let's go chase some mini quads or go have some mini quad type fun with this, right? So no longer do I have to worry about really breaking it, because even though I have a ton invested into my version of the Solo, I can go get a new one for 400 bucks, again, with an Insta Spin gimbal, right? So we're just going to take it and we're going to do some fun stuff. So what we did was a very unintrusive mod. First of all, receiver for my goggles. I have Fat Shark goggles. Here's the receiver module. I did do a quick little mod to my cable so I don't have all these wide, long cables everywhere, and I could put it on my head and strap it to myself in one unit, as opposed to having to carry around a ground station for this thing. So I just shortened up the cables by splicing them together. The one thing you will note is the ground wire from the Fat Shark wire does get dispersed to both shieldings for the wires coming out of the AV wires that come out of the RX. If you don't ground those for the shielding wires, then it's not going to transmit a very clear picture. The power cable is just the one that's provided with it. I put on a 2S balance plug so I could just plug right onto my Lion packs that I use. That's going to power both my goggle and the RX. So that's my receiving module so I can get the picture. But the cool thing was how simple and easy and literally unintrusive setting this up was. So there you have the Finch by Electrify RC. It takes 16 volts in and puts 12 volts back out with the video signal. Or with the video signal that it pulls in. So what I have is a Runcam Eagle Cam strapped or stuck on the front, and I'll show you or talk about how I did that in a minute. And it takes up to 17 volts also, so that's good to go. So we're getting the 16 volts off of the battery plug. So all you do is take your 7 screws out of your battery tray, pull that thing out, pull the little plug up a little bit, and just solder to the back side your positive and your negative. Make sure you run them off to the edge. One of them can run over. There's a little kind of like notch. The other one needs to run down the edge and around. And then you stick them through the hole, pull them out, and stick it into the VTX. And now the VTX has power, clean power straight off the battery. You're not going to brown anything out. Now, the VTX is going to power the camera, so that's all you have to do. Put the battery tray back on, put everything back together, flip it over, like I did here. And for the gimbal, I removed it. And the reason I removed it was, first of all, my GoPro Black 4 is actually dead right now. The HDMI out blew up on it, which I think I have Solo to blame, to be honest. It happens a lot. But for me, I no longer want to use the gimbal. I'm just going to use my GoPro Hero Session 5, and I wanted to kind of get it back and out of the way. So what we did was open up the gimbal plate, rotate the plate 90 degrees. You're going to have to clip out a small section of it to accommodate this screw right here, going back in. But once you do that, that'll actually push the plate or the arm a little further back and allow you good position for the run cam. So the run cam, I took the front screw and I took the clip off of it. It drops the pin or the screw out, and I drilled the hole out on the run cam mount just ever so slightly more. Then put the screw back through the mount, through the plate, put the clip back on, and now this little run cam mount is essentially part of the plate. Put the plate back in, put the run cam in its mount, plug it into the back of the VTX, put on the GoPro Session on the mount, which does have an extension. I don't know if you can see that, but there's an extender on there. That extender is actually a 90-degree extender. It's an extender and it turns at 90, which is why I actually had to also rotate the plate, not only to get the arm pushed back, but also because of that extension. Without that, you're not going to be able to mount your Session or your GoPro with the mount just like this. So for me, I would just go find a way to get that extension. I don't know if you can buy them separately or if you have to. I don't remember how I got it, but I had it. So, but like I said, it turns the camera 90 on the mount. So that's one of the reasons we turned it. But it also, by turning it, like I said, you also shift that position slightly back. You can see the arc right there. Now, the one thing is the camera is going to be slightly off to the side. There's no way to fix that because, you know, GoPro Heroes have an offset lens, and so that's why that bracket is mounted like that. But hey, I mean, who's going to really care if I get one little bit of foot on one side in or whatever? Anyways, there you go, man. Run cam plus Electrify RC plus a 3DR solo equals some FPV fun that we're going to go have. So stay tuned. We're going to put up some video real soon. We're going to go charge a pack and go fly it. But thank you again to Hobby Wireless, Wilson, Electrify RC, my boy Burst. Let's go have some fun, man. Fly safe, fly smart. Just fly for fun, guys. Fly a 3DR solo if you have to. And if you do, put some Electrify RC on it, baby. Peace.